Hey guys, this is Patrick, and this is another episode of Parallel Universes. And today we're going to be taking a look at Lars Yupo and what they have done with their town. Okay, so we're gonna actually start up here by the Springfield Heights entrance, and we're gonna start up here and come back to the actual town. So as we can see, Springfield Heights in this town has actually become the casino area. So all the casino update stuff has gone into here, and it looks really, really good. We've got the sign, the concierge at the entrance here, just announcing that we're in the casino district, and then just everything that we had in the casino update is up here. You know, we've got the centers and the different casinos, and everything's really spaced out and decorated, and it just feels that it looks like a real cool kind of casino district. You know, if we just walk around here with the signs and the boardwalks over here. We got the rest of the casinos, and I really like, I really like Nero's Palace up here. It's just the way you use all the fountains and the flowers, the lights around it, and I don't honestly, I can't say anything about this. This is a really, really cool design. I might have to try something similar because it just, wow, it's really awesome. And down here we have the coconut Babalu, which is pretty funny because he used it. It's still in decrepit state, so you know it's kind of down on the beach, and not many people come to it, I guess, because it's still closed up and whatnot. So it looks really good, and actually putting it on the beach, I wouldn't have thought of doing that either. So that's a really cool idea that he had there. Down here, we have like a big mansion area down here within the casino district, which makes sense. You know, like one of the lot owners must live down here. He's got his own like private beach and his dock with his big yacht and everything. So looks really, really good. More of the and then you got, you know, small things like Cletus's dice den being all the way up away from the nice big lights and action and everything. So it just makes sense. It's very coherent with what the design is, and just so it looks really good. And then over here we cross over the bridge into the Wild West area, which I also enjoy. It wasn't my favorite update. So I wouldn't expect any of that in my town, but the way that it's set up in this town looks really good. We got like the rock formations back here with the I forget the name of this mountain. I'll have to think of that later, but anyways, it just looks really good how all the rock formations are around it, using the items that were given to us during this update really, really well. You know, you got the main plaza over here and like all the stores and stuff, and then we got like the barn and the stables a little further behind, and everything just feels right, you know. It feels good, and like the dead trees, they fit perfectly, and actually just the dead trees transition from this lush green area to this desert area over here, which it looks perfect, you know. Looks really good. I wish we had more. Actually, this isn't less of a comment on town, more of a comment on Tepta. I wish we had gotten, I guess, more cacti, like free cacti, anyways. Because if you're not a freemium player and you just, you know, if you spend donuts, you're fine. You had a bunch of cacti patches and whatnot. But if you were a freemium player and you didn't really want to spend donuts on that you didn't really have any, which kind of sucks because it would make a place like this look amazing. But nevertheless, just looks great altogether. We got a small castle area over here. Also looks good. Very rare that we see all these event areas in people's towns. Usually it's just all mashed together, whereas this guy's decided to make districts and whatnot. And then we come down here and we have the Springfield Downs, which is very well decorated. Springfield Downs is one of those weird buildings that I'm never too sure what to do with it, but I mean, you know, you can't really put much around it, and it works here with the parking lot on the side, the trees, the bushes, everything leading up to it. It just looks really good, and it leads down to this kind of on the beach boardwalk area, I guess, if you could call it. Not too developed, but you could add a bunch of stuff around the mini golf course too, you know. Maybe that new go-kart track that we got in one of the previous updates or stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of room to work with around here, so I'm sure you can find something to fill that in. And then there's the Springfield Country Club over here, which makes sense that it be near Springfield Heights and near the Mansion District as well. I think that looks really, really good, and separated by a river. I like when towns have rivers and lakes and stuff. You know, it just makes it feel more real You know, like obviously there's not always necessarily a lot of bodies of water in towns, but it's a function that we have, and I think that a lot of people should try and use it in their towns because if when used correctly and uh, with the right quantity, it can look really, really good. And then we come up to the big mansion district area, which they've got big, big, big lots. And I think the only thing that I think could be done for, I guess, less the ones over here, they look pretty good, but maybe even a couple of them of these mansions is I think they could just they need a little more things or decorations on their property, you know, like maybe a couple trees, some flowers leading up here. You know, like, yeah, you got the mansion, you got the pool, it's fenced off, really big property. There's clearly got to be more, you know, even if it's just a little garden or some little section of trees out back or something, you know, just to not make it feel so empty on these big lots. But otherwise, their placement, I think, is perfect. I think you got really good potential for a nice big mansion district. I like the ones on the water as well. Those look really cool. So, you know, just adding more things like this, I guess, you know, like tennis courts, uh, some, some garages and whatnot. You could just, you know, try and put some on Burns Mansion, maybe some stuff on the side here. A couple of things back here, maybe, and I guess some things around Kane Manor, and I think that would look really good. Got the spooky house up here leading into the really forested area up here, which also looks really good. Got Springfield Falls, bunch of lakes, got a river running through here. Xmas tree is slightly irregular, looks great because when it's integrated with the forest behind it, it makes it look like it's part of the scenery. You can't tell that this right here is really different from the forest behind it because it's so well placed and integrated. Carl's Dad's Caverns, we got the chairlift and everything. It just looks really, really good. Cabin over here, and use a little more trees around it, maybe a couple, maybe some fencing or something, but otherwise looks really good. More over here. The drive-in theater over here, also good. And the one thing I've noticed in this town is there's still a lot of real estate that you can use. Because see, between here and the other areas, there isn't really anything done. If I just move down here, which is fine, you know, because that means you have a lot more room to add buildings, decorations, you know, districts, or maybe new event areas that you want to add. So I'm looking forward to seeing a completed version of this town because so far I think it's really, really nice. And if we move down here, we're starting to get more into the industrial stuff. We got the artsy kind of prison over here surrounded by lake, which is really nice. Do like that a lot. Also like how it's situated in, you know, kind of the industrial area, not like a residential area. It makes more sense that way. It's surrounded by water and whatnot, so really good, really good. More stuff down here, more factories. We got the tire fire and everything. I really like how the layout of this dump, you know, it just looks really good. You got the rail yard with the monorail passing behind it. I particularly like how it kind of just cuts off here, as if maybe it broke down or something, and you got like this the pylons and the barriers set up down here so that, you know, let people know like, hey, we need to fix this. And then you got the garbage all around, all the different things, and you got the Plow King that's just pushing the you know, the rubbish and the trash from out of there, which looks really good. Moving on to the kind of more secretive Nara Center area with all the buildings with the tank guarding it in front of it. Looks good. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. More things like this. The IRS building in its decrepit state goes well with the factory kind of scenery in this state. Looks really good. Sketchy apartments. You got Lard Lad Donuts behind it. Oh, and here's one thing I want to look at. The Tap Ball Stadium looks really, really good. I know a lot of people didn't particularly like this event, but this particular design makes really good use of it. If you don't want to actually buy one of the stadiums with donuts and you have the pieces to make your own tap ball stadium, then this would be the way to do it because it looks really, really good. I also like how on this whole strip up here is 2 lanes, as if it's like some big boulevard or some big avenue, you know. So like cars would be at like have 2 lanes over here and 2 lanes over here and whatnot. So it just makes it look really big and important, which is good to have different sizes of roads in your town, and that's actually something I should look to replicate in my town. Having one of these kind of avenues feels definitely need something like that. And then over here we start getting into we got the Municipal House of Pancakes, 30% of the Quickie Mart. Simple designs, but they look really good. They fit in really well here, and they transition well. They give it a little commercial area before transitioning into the residential area, which is nicely sectioned off by trees, fenced off very nicely. I guess, a couple homes. Just add a couple trees back here. All I'd say would need a change there. Whoops. Just add some decorations to these ones here, and then we get to the Monsarno, which basically the same comment as the last one. Put some trees around it. Maybe you could even like fence it off if you wanted to, make it look like a really big, important building. Put some benches, maybe a fountain in the middle here. Well, then again, there's already one in this building, but some benches and stuff. Just make it look, big and important and really corporate and stuff like that. Is there anything up here that? Okay, mostly event stuff. Farms over here. Really nice use of this the Squidport fencing. I think that looks really, really good. Goes really well with farms all the time, and I like how they have room, to grow their crops and do whatever, moonshine back here and whatnot. And I like the gas and grub that's kind of like in more of the countryside. It's kind of like that one little spot in the country where there's not a lot of shops and whatnot, but there's always that one gas station, and it looks pretty good because you can imagine like the last gas before Five Corners, and you can imagine someone keep on driving here and out of the town and then not seeing another gas station for a while. And then we got some other buildings up here. Looks really, really good. Really nice country side. I love the farm area. The secluded prison as well looks really good. Actually, I think there's another. Yeah. The Springfield Penitentiary here, that's perfect placement, it's just secluded, it's off into the country, like rivers around it, it's very coherent with what the town is going for. Perfect example, once again, Seething Sisters, love it. We got the unemployment office, also like the location, and nuclear power plant as well, very nice. And then we got pretty much the beach over there, and I think that's going to about do it. I'm pretty sure the rest is kind of just stuff lying around, maybe some putting it down for the income that they need. So that's pretty much going to do it for this town. All in all, really, really beautiful town. I loved it. So many things that I like about this town, like I said, what works well for this town is everything is very coherent. Everything's in its right spot. Everything has a place. There's a district for houses, for the casino, for the farms, the country, for the shops, for all the industrial stuff. It looks great. Perfect stuff. So basically the only thing that I would say maybe you want to change is start adding some decorations to the rest of your town. Start expanding. You got plenty of room to do so. And other than that, just beautiful, beautiful town. And so, as usual, guys, if you want to be featured on a future episode of Parallel Universes, leave your origin name in the comments below. Let me know, do I have you as a friend or do I need to add you? And I will pick a comment at random for next week's video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you next time.